ever done this before? Raise your hand.
Are not going to
Oh my
mess up
God.
your hair.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoy getting out of my comfort zone.
Okay, one more time.
I've heard people say that it's not an effective workout.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grow, Glow, and Go with Ashley. And today is super special. We're talking everything Evolve Pilates. And I have three incredible women with me to discuss the evolution of Pilates. I have Sarah, Nia, and Jan, who has been really killing it in Evolve teacher training program. So we're really excited to talk about that. And today we're going to really dive into their journey with Pilates and why it's important. So let's get started, ladies. So what drew you to Pilates? Why Pilates? So we'll start with Sarah.
Okay. So I first was introduced to Pilates through Ashley. She did a home class when she first started doing her training at Diamond's house. And she kicked my butt. And that was my first experience with Pilates. I started doing Pilates at school, but I wasn't really consistent. I had an injury from dancing, tore my meniscus, and it just took forever to get back to where my other knee was. I'm home for nursing school, and my mom had a Club Pilates membership. And so that was my first introduction to, to reformer Pilates. So I would do that until she stopped paying for it. And so, so I started going back to the gym. And I don't know, I felt like it took a lot for me to go to the gym. And it was a lot to try to fit into my schedule because I feel like when I go to the gym, I got to do my warm-up before. Then I got to do my workout. Then I got to do my little cardio at the end. Then I got to go sit in the sauna. At that point, I'm at the gym for like 2.5, 3 hours, and that's too long. Yeah. So, like, Pilates just worked better for my nursing school schedule. Fast forward now, I hate going to the gym. Like, I get major anxiety about going to the gym. But, like, going to Pilates class, I feel fine. Like, it's all women most of the time. I don't have to worry about nobody harassing me. And then, personally, I feel like I've become stronger just because it's body weight exercises. I can lift more than my body weight in weights, but, like, I still didn't feel strong, if that makes sense. So, and even, like, with this program, the amount of core strength that I built in the past, 5 weeks?
5 weeks.
Has grown so much then from day one, so...
Good. And that class that she's talking about, that was like 2017. I had no idea what I was doing.
No,
I
was
was
2018.
just like, can I practice on y'all? Yeah. So what about you, Nia?
Honestly, I think we kind of have similar backgrounds with it. I did dance in high school and in college. And after college, I just kind of stopped. When I went to nursing school, and during that 15 months of nursing school, I just fell off with exercising in general. Mostly because I kind of fell out of love with, like, working out all the time and, like, trying to look a certain way. I just fell out of love with it because it was such a stressor in college for me. And then when I finished nursing school, I was just like, I'm not fulfilled with the way I look. So then I started going to the gym all the time. And it was cool. I mean, I was going with friends. It was cool, but it wasn't fulfilling. So then I just kind of, like, started going through this search of what I liked to do. Physically. And my best friend, Patty, she lives in Houston now. I went to visit her and she was just like, we're just going to all week just do all these different Pilates classes. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm down to try it, like, whatever. We went, the first class we went to, I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is it. The, like, workout regimen for mat Pilates, the workout regimen for that was very similar to what the workouts we would do for POM. So it was like, I'm still getting that, like, girly workout. I wouldn't say girly. It's hard. It's not girly. It's hard. So you're still getting that, like, same, like, it's mostly girls, like Sarah said. So I feel like in a group class, like, everyone's feeling the exact same way. You're doing those hard workouts and you walk out and you just feel like a better you, but also not like I just died for an hour. Like, you walk out of class still feeling like I can go about the rest of my day. So I just fell in love with it from there. And then she took me to some reformer ones there. And then when I lived in Dallas for the year, I just kept going. I was like, I'm not going to stop. came back to Memphis and I was like, I'm going to start training. So I did the mat training and then I'm still kind of working on that one, figuring that out. But when you hit me up, I was like, oh, for sure, I'm doing that. So yeah, it's kind of how that started.
Love it. And what about you, Jan?
Well, I'm no stranger to working out, and my husband is a bodybuilder, and he's been a personal trainer for a long time. So the gym is something I'm really familiar with, but I have always hated going, and I felt like it was more of a chore to be there. Like you said, it takes a long time. You know, you got to get there. You got to do a little cardio warm up. You got to go to each machine. You got to count the reps. And it's like, this is such a project. And for me and the way that my brain works, it's not something that I can go in, hit it, quit it, and then, you know, you got to shower after. And, you know, sometimes when I work out really hard, something that's high intensity, I get tired. So, you know, when people say they go to the gym and they get a burst of energy, I'm just not that girl. I can't relate. So I just really have not ever liked the gym. And I know that it was something that I needed to do just because my body has changed over the years and you want to be active and you want to, you know, look a certain way. But I just couldn't get with being at the gym 3 to 5 times a week. So I was really searching for something that was low impact and something that I could do consistently, that I could really fall in love with. And I definitely was drawn to the aesthetic of Pilates because it was definitely coming by storm, hitting the Black girls by storm. And I just loved seeing them just get cute in their outfits, but also get a really good workout. And I loved how their bodies were changing. And I wanted to be a part of that. And so after I suffered from a gym injury, which was causing a lot of anxiety with me going back to the gym, a Club Pilates opened near my home, and I'm like, I'm just going to go all in. I got a membership, and when they opened, I started, and I did not realize that I was going to fall in love with it the way that I did, and I didn't realize that I was going to be consistent. I don't think I've ever been this consistent with any type of exercise. I've tried it all. I've tried bar, I've tried spin, I've tried going to the gym, and this is the only thing that I've stuck with, and I can see myself doing for as long as I'm able.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I feel like Pilates is literally like when you go to your first class, you're automatically addicted. You're like, I got to keep doing this because I feel incredible. Evolve Pilates is not just a regular studio. It's a whole experience from the state-of-the-art reformers to building the community. What really brought you or drew you to wanting to be an instructor at Evolve Pilates?
Okay, so let's do some little background. So Ashley texted me back in like October, maybe. Mind you, I had seen Ashley many, many times throughout this text message. So I'm thinking in my head, why can't she just tell me? So I'm like, it's Ashley. It's probably something business savvy. She got something up her sleeve. So literally the day before she asked me, she did my hair. And so I'm like, am I still going to see you tomorrow? She was like, yeah, same place, same time. I said, cool. So when I got there and she asked me, I was like, mind you, I've never taught nothing in my entire life, ever. So I was like, yeah, like, but then I thought about it. I was like, am I ready for this? Like, is this something that I can do? I feel like God wouldn't have put it on your heart to ask me if he felt like I couldn't do it. So when I walked into the first day of training, I realized how we were all different. You brought together a completely diverse group of girls, and you really value the inclusivity of what your studio would bring. So that was just really inspiring. It just made me more excited to be a part.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you. Yeah, that was really one of my goals, like, because I feel like people really, they see Pilates as this one thing, and I'm like, Pilates is everything. Like, every person that you see can be doing or practicing Pilates. And so I wanted a team who we're doing different things in our lives, but we're practicing the same practice. Like, yeah. What about you, Nia?
So honestly, when you hit me up, I was already in the like whirlwind of trying to do teacher trainings. And I was like, absolutely. First and foremost, like we only have Club Pilates and like one other studio here, I think, for Reformer. And I know, like, number one, like being one of the first Black owned here in Memphis, I had to be a part of that. I was like, there's no way I can't not be a part of it. So that was one thing that drew me into it. And then I just really want to be able to get the word out and the experience out to as many people as possible, because I think everyone needs to try it at least once. So if I can be a part of something better or greater, I want to be in that. So that's what made me want to do it.
Love it. Love it. What about you, Jan?
So, similar story. You know, I was on my Pilates journey and doing the thing and, you know, taking my little videos and my little pictures every morning at the crack of dawn before the sun was up, going to Pilates in my own little world. And I had heard that you were opening up a studio. And I knew that regardless, I wanted to take part in your studio because I believe in Pilates. And so you hit me up and it was a little cryptic and I said, Lord.
She said, I'm gonna have to sleep on
Lord,
this.
is this lady finna ask me to be an instructor? And I told my husband, I was like, Ashley hit me up and I just don't know what she getting ready to ask me. I hope she's not going to ask me to be a teacher. And lo and behold, that's what it was. And I just said, let me pray about it. Because for one, I'm coming up on a year of me doing Pilates. And of course, when something is new and fresh, you don't feel ready to teach anybody. Because I'm still on my journey. I'm growing and I'm learning. And so I definitely had to pray about it. And I also didn't want to turn every hobby into a job. Because sometimes you love something and then you turn into a job and you end up not living it anymore. And I didn't want that to be my story when it comes to Pilates. And so I prayed and I'm like, okay, God, I didn't seek this opportunity out. It was brought to me. And it would not have been brought to me if he didn't feel like I was ready for it. So I just said yes, and here we are, and I'm about to teach somebody.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like, you just never know who's watching. Absolutely. I saw your journey. I saw that you were committed to the practice, and I'm like, why not? Because I feel like so many people ask me, like, how do I become a Pilates instructor? And although the answers are so different, I'm like, let me make sure that people know that it's not as complicated as people make it seem. Like, there are opportunities, and people just have to give you those opportunities. So. All right, we're going to dive into teacher training. Okay. So we have 4 signature classes that I'll let them kind of talk to you about. What's your favorite class so far? What class do you feel like you kind of mesh a little bit more with, and why?
So right now my favorite class is flow. At first it was just because of music. We have foundations, flow, strength, and restore. So I feel like flow is the happy medium between foundations and strength. You're still getting the fundamentals, but you're up kicking it a bit. But you're not going full throttle like strength.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Well, out of all of the 4, they're all great classes. If I had to pick my favorite, though, it's going to be Restore. Yes, I know. It's Restore only because that is the time for you to really, like, just let everything go. The music in there is very calm. You really get a good stretch, but you're still getting a good workout within itself. But it's just very low impact. It's more about you and feeling good and like really stretching out your body, but still getting some of that good leg workout and core workout as well.
Love it.
Well, my favorite is Foundation. And I think everybody kind of felt like I would gravitate towards that class because it really is the core of Pilates. All of the basics, all of the core moves that makes Reformer Pilates what it is. And all about that great form, the great precision. It's for beginners and it's for those who just want to bring themselves back to the basics and just master those simple moves. And you're able to build upon it, or you can come back down to the basics. I love how the form is just so important because when it comes to Pilates, you're not getting a good workout if your form is not good. Absolutely. And so I'm going to be cracking a whip. I'm be cracking a whip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be really nice, I promise. But I just want people to take it seriously that form is everything. If you don't have the foundation, you can't
do anything else. You really can't.
Yeah. So that's why it's my favorite because I'm all about getting the move right.
Yeah.
Especially so that their form could be correct so they don't hurt themselves.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So I can't wait to take each of your classes. But the strength class is a little bit more challenging, but I will agree. Foundation is going to be very important for them even to get to strength. Higher BPM, beat per minute, and it's going to be a little bit more higher energy. The music is higher energy. We're going to add various Pilates props and equipment like the jump board. So I'm very excited about that class. Yeah, looking forward to it. All righty. Well, the next question is going to be about myths. There are so many myths about Pilates. We see them on TikTok. We see them on Instagram. What's one myth that you wish you could change? And I'll start with you this time, Jan.
I would say one of the biggest myths is that you already need to be like strong.
Yeah.
Like you already need to have some type of physical experience, and you need to already be like toned or, familiar with working out. And that's not the case at all. What I love so much about Pilates is that you see so many different types of people. You see young, you see old, you see smaller in size, you see, plus size. And I love that you can modify all of the moves wherever you are. And it just truly meets you where you are. So if you've never done anything, there are some ways that you can incorporate Pilates into your lifestyle, and you just don't have to be intimidated by it. I think people see the reformer and they're like, oh God, that is a scary piece of equipment. I don't know, I'm gonna fall, and it's not. And I think that people really should know that we are serious about their safety. So don't be afraid. Just start. That's how you get there, how you get to do those things that you see on social media. And just come in the door. That's all you got to do. Show up for yourself.
Yes, love it.
I think another myth would be the fact that like it's super exclusive. It's like anybody can come. This is not like some bougie social club that like you have to sign a bunch of papers in order to join. This is for any and everybody. So don't be afraid to just come because you feel like you're going to be like shunted out or something. Anybody can do this. It's going to be welcoming, especially with us. Our whole thing is welcoming, vibrant, inclusive. Like those are the biggest things that we're going to want to make sure we bring any and everybody in. So it's for anybody. Just come.
And what about you, Sarah?
I've heard people say that it's not an effective workout. And it is.
It is.
Let's talk about it.
My upper body strength before we started all this, and even before, like when I was in the gym, it was not all of that.
I agree. I mean, it's challenging.
But once you get started,
Yeah.
and once
you
you
get
really
there.
get in your practice,
Yeah.
they think the Pilates girls can't.
Yes.
I know. We
Right.
can do it
Yeah.
all. We can do it all.
And listen, please don't play with it.
No, you become
Do
your
not play
stronger
with this.
self. You
Yes.
really do. Mentally, physically, all the things. Like you are a stronger being after
Yes.
you do Pilates.
I think there are some men.
Yeah,
that
I was trying to break
I
that
don't care
down.
if they live in the gym.
Yeah.
They in there tearing their ACLs at the basketball court
Right.
and playing with
Yeah.
the weights.
Right.
And I don't think that they could hold a candle to the Pilates girls. So
Right.
That's a myth, too.
it is a myth.
Pilates is for men.
It is.
Yeah.
Joseph Pilates was a man, y'all. So please, bring your boo, bring your husbands.
Yes.
We want to see them in
They need to
class.
stretch too.
Yeah.
They do.
They stiff as a board.
They do.
Right.
And they need to stretch and
Yeah.
they need to get in tune with themselves and they
Right.
need to relax and just, have 45 minutes to themselves. And they probably need it more than we do
Honestly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome when men, leave that myth at the door and say, let me try this because it can be helpful
Yeah.
and incorporate it with their gym workouts,
Especially if you've been injured before. This is something that can really get you back in the door
Yes.
with your workout
Yes,
regimen.
from that gym injury that I had, y'all know I could not wear heels.
Yeah.
I could not wear heels, and it was so devastating. Oh my gosh, so devastating. But over the year, me doing Pilates, I put my foot in a shoe, honey.
She's
and
back.
Yes, she's back. Jen is
I'm on my way to the 4-inch. I'm on my way back. You know, I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way back.
All the way down.
You know, I just can't believe that I almost had to be in kittens forever. Nothing wrong with a kitten because they're in fashion. They're back. But to not be able to wear something that I love because of an injury, it's just been beautiful to be able to like rehab it back through Pilates without having to do traditional physical therapy, which is you know, it's important too, but it's nice to kill two birds with one stone.
Yes, yes. All right, ladies. Well, final word. So if someone is on the fence about Pilates, what would you tell them? Like, how would you persuade them to come to your class?
Just come. You got to try it once. See how you like it. If you don't like it, you know, that's understandable. However, you never know until you try it.
I would definitely say, just come. But I feel like come and try each class. Like, don't just do it once. Try the restore. Try the foundations. Try the strength. Try all of them. Flow, all of them. Just because you might not like restore, but you may love foundations. You might not like foundations, but you want to be like the girlies on TikTok and get into strength and flow. And then you're there and you feel like a completely new person. So I would just think like, just try it, come, and ask questions, like ask us about it. Or, you know, do your own research and see if that's something you're interested in.
I'm going to build off of both of you all. I would say just come. I would say try all the classes. And I would say give it at least a month.
Yeah.
Give it at least a month because a lot of times people don't see the benefit because they're not doing it right.
Right.
And it takes a minute because it's more than just movements. It's more than just doing what the teacher is asking you to do. It's literally going into your quiet place, really connecting internally, being able to connect that mind and that muscle. And it's the mental part is almost more important than the physical part. And once you put that together, it clicks. Yeah. And Pilates becomes very transformative. And you have to give it time because it's not going to happen on the first class. You got to get more familiar with, you know, the equipment. You got to get more familiar with your body. And so if you can commit at least a month of going, you know, 2 to 3 times a week at the very least, more if you can. But, you know, 1 time a week isn't quite going to do it. But if you're able to do more, you know, 2 to 3 times a week for about a month, I really think that you would fall in love with it. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think it's a gift to yourself.
It is a true investment.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like I think people hear that and they hear it so much and they're like, you know, you just trying to sell me something. But no, Pilates is really
it's for you.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And it's low impact.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about.
You're not going to mess up your hair. You are not
Most importantly, speak on that real quick. Yes.
You are not going to mess up your hair.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that drew me to Pilates is that great workout without feeling like, what am I going to do with my hair? Right. And listen, we can't prioritize aesthetics over our health. At some point, we got to get in there and we have to do what's best for our bodies, and that's moving. And so I know for Black women that can be a struggle trying to pick either how I look every day versus my health, but you can do both because you're not going to get that sweaty. Like you will sweat a little bit, but not enough to mess up their silk press.
It's just you can touch up your edges.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
I promise. So not your
Get your little clip.
It's
just
fine.
Into the band.
You're going to be good.
Yes, it's more of a burn than a sweat. Right. Which the burn is what
can cause a little sweat.
But it's a little sweat. The burn carves out the body. Okay.
Yeah.
The sweat, sometimes we be sweating thinking that we're really doing something and we're not.
Right. Yeah.
We're just hot.
But
I love that I don't have to sacrifice my hair, and I feel like that's gonna get people through the door.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead and tell us your Instagram. Y'all see that.
Janice Martina. That's my Instagram, and I own a hair company called Texturelosophy, and that is texture without the E in losophy. So you know. You can see it speaks for itself. You know, I work out all the time, and I do not mess up my hair. Okay,
Nia, what's your tag?
My Instagram is Nia__Patrice NIA__PATRICE, and you can follow me there.
And mine is
Sarah?
Love Sarah EVLOVESARAHEB.
All right. Well, you guys have heard it here first. We are super excited. As you can tell, Evolve Pilates is coming soon. So make sure you visit our website at evolvepilatesmemphis.com. Check out our founding memberships and stay tuned for more to come. Are you guys ready to evolve with us?
Cheers.